the Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida.
And a good evening, everybody, and welcome to Beach Talk Radio for a very special Wednesday night show. Our first Wednesday night show. Could be our last Wednesday night show. I guess we'll find out soon. We thought we'd try something new, maybe with a... What'd you say? Maybe with... Let's try that again. Let me make sure your microphone's on. There you go. You see, if you didn't walk in the house at 2 minutes ago, 1 minute ago, everything would be fine. We thought we'd try something new. Here, you fix your own microphone.
How
Not your
long have
little
you
boy.
had to set this up? How long have you had to
I know
set
you're
this
supposed
up?
to come in so we could do a sound check, and you
Oh,
come in
my
because you're out
Lord.
with your friends. So
I have a life.
we decided we were going to try a Wednesday night show, a little less distraction, because sometimes what happens during our Saturday show is our guests are so good that they run the whole hour, and then there's some stuff that we want to talk about, or that I want to
Let's go
talk
up.
about, and we don't get to it. So we did want to update some things that we're doing, our special show that we're having, and other things that are going on. We also wanted to see if that we get a little different response to our show on Wednesday night compared to Saturday. And the you want me to wait, or are you ready yet to go?
I'm ready.
And
You're
there's
carrying the
not
show.
we thought for sure we'd be a little more prepared on a Wednesday night than on a Saturday, in which you come strolling in around the corner on the square. But here we are, ready to talk about some of the issues that are facing the beach and other folks around the area. Are you ready now?
Ready.
All right, get nice and close to the microphone. The first question is,
Okay.
how did you think the show went last week with the discussion about the homeless?
No, I think it went well. I think both sides were represented well. I think Pastor Krister has a great
Kritzer.
Yeah, you messed it up.
Yeah, I
Now
sent him a
you've got
couple of
me.
emails during the week, and he hasn't gotten back to me. So I'm guessing that he might be a little upset about the fact that I butchered his name.
He's such a laid back guy, but he brought a lot of light to what they're doing down there and the numbers. I think that was helpful.
Yes. And if anyone has any questions about anything about the show or any topic suggestions, you can type them into the Facebook box if you're watching on Facebook, and we'll share them with everybody that's listening on the app or listening on iHeartRadio or listening on Spotify. I noticed for some reason that I'm talking more with my hands tonight than I'm usually holding the microphone with both hands. It's very different. There's no distractions. It's totally quiet. There's nobody walking by. There's
You
no
seem
beach
kind of
cam.
nervous.
And I'm so tired right now. I'm used to getting ready for bed at this time. But the show, I thought, went okay last week. I thought the poll that we had was interesting. We put a
Again,
poll
with
up
the
about
we.
the homeless.
You did that.
And
You take full credit for it.
The question was whether or not the folks on the beach thought there was a homeless problem. And, we got 100 votes, which is decent. And 90% said yes. So 90% of the 100 thought yes, that there is a homeless problem. Do you?
Well, as many people have pointed out, we don't actually live at the
Oh,
beach.
you see, you can just never jump in and answer a question, whether you can't
I
say yes or
think-
no.
No, well, let me explain. I think even if there's one person who's intimidating somebody or causing a ruckus, then that's a problem. I
Okay.
think the numbers are helpful, but if you're there and you're the one who's, on the receiving end of feeling intimidated or whatever, then it's 100% for you. I think the point that the pastor, well, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but what I got from him is that the meals that he provides for the people that he provides, it's such a small percentage of those individuals who are the problem down there, and that it would be a shame to get rid of that program because it feeds so many women and children who need the help. So, I think it's a separate issue.
All right. Well, last week's show was very well viewed, by the way. 971 views so far of the show from just the Facebook video alone, plus whatever was on YouTube, and it also had 83 listens. So we had, good viewership to that show. So today,
Stop looking.
Today, you want me to look at the camera, not
Yeah,
you.
look at the
and the
camera.
noises you may be hearing in the background have nothing to do with the beach. It's our dog, Cookie, who is a bulldog, who's got her ball stuck underneath the router. So if we go offline, it's because the dog is looking for the ball. But
This is not the bulldog, though.
today on the Facebook, I posted a audio video kind of thing of Joanne's comment at the council meeting last Monday, which we didn't get to talk about last week, which had to do with the budget and the fact that they raised taxes on the folks that live on the beach. Now, the vote was 4-1. Joanne voted no against it. And her quote, I mean, I don't mind that people disagree with the fact that I don't like when governments raise taxes. It has nothing to do with just the local government. I think that government's goal is to raise taxes on people. I just think that's what their goal is.
They have to
right,
run.
but
There's operations and things that have to be
right.
run.
But my opinion is it's always not enough. There's never enough money in the government's coffers. It's always they need more money. They need to raise taxes. They need to write taxes. They need to write tickets. They need to raise the fees on the businesses. It's just never enough money for a government, no matter what level it is.
Well, so what would be is there some periodic way that you think that taxes should be raised, or you think it's flat? Nothing is flat.
That if they're talking about projects that they want to do, I understand there are a ton of projects on the beach. Then why wasn't it discussed, or at least I didn't see it discussed at that budget meeting, or that I watched those 2 meetings on that day to borrow the money? Why can't you borrow the money? If you need to do those projects so bad, why wouldn't you borrow the money? Like, is that not an option? Do you have to just take it right away from by raising taxes? And
when was the last time they raised? Are you talking the millage rate?
Yeah. And what's so wrong with being proud of low taxes or keeping the taxes down or lowering taxes? What's wrong with that? And it's not me. I mean, I don't live there, but this is Joanne's direct quote, and we're going to play it in a second if you didn't get a chance to hear it.
Okay, but let me say, and I have no, pony in this race, but the vote was 1.
Right, 4-1.
Right.
Right. Joanne was the only one that voted against it. And her direct quote was a 12.3. It was a 12.3% increase, dear. A 12.3% increase is fiscally irresponsible. That's her quote, not my quote. So, I mean, is she a liar that it's, fiscally irresponsible, or is it fiscally irresponsible? Which is it? Huh? Which is it? You don't want to get involved.
You're trying to, I do not know the numbers because I've been working a regular job and you've been sitting home figuring all of this out.
All right. So let's play.
It was 1 mil, right?
Let's play the full quote from Joanne, and then you can chime in on that.
0.95 millage rate is a 12.3% tax increase above the 0.8456 setback rate. Some of my colleagues have called this fiscally responsible to do this because we have projects that loom in the future we haven't identified yet. I don't think that we really have that necessity to do that. Our town, under current management, has us in an exceptional financial position. In the 2018-2019 budget, we had an overall budget of 18.1 million, and we had reserves of 3.09 million. That's 17% reserves. We all know Florida League of Cities recommends around 19%. Right now, in this budget, we have a total budget of 20.36 million, reserves of 6 million. That's 30% reserves. That is actually 2.43 million above the recommended reserves of the Florida League of Cities. I cannot approve this increase based on this projected forward need. We're in an excellent financial position, and I do not believe we should be doing this. We have a totally balanced budget and adequate and exciting add-ons, might I add, including moving forward with different designs at Oaks, cameras, everything we sort of wanted on our wish list, all at 0.87. I see absolutely no need, and I don't think it's right to take other people's money and store it away, and when we don't know what we need it for. We have plenty of reserves.
Pretty strong right there. I mean, convincing.
Right. Well, that's one of the 4, one of the 5. So what were the other points?
Raise point. Well, I think Anita's point was that she's been trying to get this increase through for a while because she wants the projects done. I understand that. Ray's point was, and I think Bruce agreed with this, that you can never have enough money in reserves, especially when a disaster might hit the area. So I'm just saying, I get it. I mean, it didn't seem like there was a lot of complaining from the residents. All I'm saying is I think that government raises taxes too much on people. The fire district raised taxes as well. It went from something like 20 to, I think the fire district has more money than the town does, 22 million or something like that in the fire district. And maybe, I'm sure they need it for safety. I'm just saying that money comes from this pocket and from that pocket and from their shirt pocket and from their back pocket. And I just think that more money should be in the people's pocket. The people's pocket.
Are you running for office?
No, I'm not running for office. All I was doing too is was voicing my opinion. Nobody has to listen to it. Nobody has to agree with it. Nobody has to comment on it.
So
You can
why
just
didn't you
let it
do a
out there.
poll about that?
What would be the question?
Do people agree with the increase?
With the tax increase?
Yeah.
All right, that's a good idea. Great idea, dear. You should get involved in this show a little bit more.
You're
You have good
welcome.
ideas. That's all.
Such
I
a
mean,
idiot.
and I guess the only thing I was to say I didn't do my homework is, I mean, you're the elected officials. You put it out there in the meeting. Joanne put it out there in the meeting. All I did was comment on it because I don't think raising taxes is always the answer. That's all. There we
That's
go.
it.
So moving on, what would you like to talk about?
What do you have in your little
Okay,
list?
yeah, on
there?
my list, because it's always on my list. So I did want to give everybody an update on Chester. Chester is the gentleman that paints over by across the street from the Lonnie Kai in the under the tree there. He did have a GoFundMe account to raise money for his insurance. And so he's just waiting for the GoFundMe money to get put into his account. Then he'll get insurance. Then he'll go to the town hall to get his permit so he could be a street performer. So that's good news.
Well, that is good news.
Yeah. The other thing is we are going to be working on a Fort Myers history podcast.
We are. You are.
Right. And so this week, I'm going to get to see a couple of people down on the beach. AJ Bassett is one of them. And that'll be fun to put together. That won't be anything political or anything controversial. It'll just be, I mean, the book.
Oh, I'm sure you'll find a way.
No, not at all. The book that Debbie John loaned us to look into the history of the beach has been great. Did you know, according to that book, that the reason, I think it was in the book, or I read it somewhere after I looked through the book, I was going through all kinds of stuff. The reason that the town incorporated, according to what I read, was that it had to do with Diamond Head, that the residents were against Diamond Head being built on the end where Bowditch Beach is. They were going to build Diamond Head, a huge Diamond Head right there. And something happened where I guess they bought property.
Well, they moved down. Yeah.
Down the boulevard there, and then Bowditch Beach was put in. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
And everything that you read about the history has to do with the Mound House and Shells.
Have you been to the Mound House?
I have. Well, we've been around the Mound House. We haven't been in yet. I don't think I'm allowed in the Mound House, but it's been a great book of history, and so we're going to be starting that, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to tons of people about that and do like 8 or 10 separate podcasts from this. It'll take a lot of editing and a lot of time. So,
that is all you.
yes.
You're the history
It will be
buff.
tons of fun, but I might need a special female voiceover. You know anyone?
I don't.
Okay. So,
Christy?
yeah, Christy,
Nikki?
right? Nikki. The other thing we wanted to mention to everybody was the Veterans Day show that's coming up the day before on Sunday, the 10th of November. That one will be at Pete's Timeout. Will not be in our house. It will be at Pete's Timeout. We have a couple of things especially planned for the 5 veterans that we'll have at the table eating breakfast. It's called Breakfast with Heroes, and it will be November the 10th. And there's a couple of things I don't want to give away that we have planned for that day. And we're
Like
also
secrets,
surprises. Like we're also going to be starting our little Venmo account where we raise money just for the breakfast through a Venmo account, and people can only donate $10 or $20, not something crazy, so that we
it's
can
a
buy them.
Venmo account?
Well, I figured
Or a
that's the easiest
GoFundMe?
thing. Just send it to my Venmo, and I'll stop it when the bill is paid, and
You're gonna
then,
post
and then
all of
close
that
it off. Yeah,
for
post it all so everybody can
transparency?
see. Yeah, I want to be totally transparent. So that's coming up on November the 10th. And speaking of Venmo, did you see the story about the kid that held up
Yeah.
the sign at the football game? He got on ESPN, and it said he needed $20 he ran out of beer, so he needed $20 for a case of beer. Was it
Pabst Blue Ribbon, wasn't
it
that
was
the beer he
Pabst
wanted?
Blue Ribbon or something like that. I have the story right here. Anyway, he started getting donations to his Venmo account, and then what happened, dear?
And then somebody,
No, you're skipping the whole part
well,
of
he
it.
got all this money and he decided it was too much money. Like he didn't need that much money for beer, just beer. And so he was going to donate it.
He
and do
donated it
something good
to the
with it.
Children's Hospital in is it in Boise? I forgot where it was, but anyway, so he starts getting all this money donated to him, and then Venmo says they're going to match the money, and then Budweiser said they're going to match the money, and then all of a sudden he's got $2 million. So what happened?
Well, and he got free beer for a year.
He was going to not only get free beer for a year, he was going to get his picture on the can. I don't know if it was going to be a special can just for him and his friends, or it was going to be a cans that they sold, but he was going to get free beer for a year. Anyway, so what happened next was, well, the newspaper in his town wrote a story about it. And of course, what does the newspaper do? They start digging into his social media account and finds out that this 24-year-old now, when he was 16, had a couple of racial tweets on his Twitter feed. And so Budweiser said no more to the cans and no more to the free beer. And, it was just, they tore him down after 6 years of trying to turn himself around. And it was sad.
It is sad because you and I are so old that we don't have to fear of our youth coming back to bite us. Maybe not anything that we definitely did stupid, but there might be some things that you did stupid. And there's no one, what is there going to be? A Polaroid picture, somebody, hearsay. But kids nowadays, even young adults, you have to really be careful what you put out there.
Well, what happened was, which was even crazier, is that somebody went back to the newspaper reporter's Twitter feed and saw that he had racial tweets on his feed and he got fired. So that was bad karma and it came back to bite him.
Well, that happened to an administrator in a school over in Miami. She made some statement that they determined was inappropriate from a racial standpoint. And after so many years, she's out.
I think that teachers probably, they're
she
older.
Was an administrator.
Well, yeah, they probably shouldn't be doing stuff like that. But I also think that it should be like drinking. You shouldn't be allowed to have a social media account until you're either 18 or 21, because every kid does stupid things. And they got to pay for them for the rest of their lives because they put something silly on or racist in this case. I mean, everyone gets a second chance, but you have to, was that really worth putting on the story? Did it really relate to the story 6 years later?
It depends on the degree. I mean, we have all seen people who behind the computer, while they're on there, get all sorts of, pumped up about saying something that they would not say to somebody to their face, or they would not say in public.
Right.
And I've also seen people who are good people say things that other people would take offense to, and they did not mean offense. So that's why there's all this sensitivity training at lots of different institutions so that people don't say things inadvertently that are offensive.
Why is our dog acting like this? It's never like this all day. She sleeps all day and now she's going crazy. The other thing about did you hear about the other social media nightmare since the last show that we had was the 16-year-old kid, I think it was 16, that he turns out he's bisexual or something, and he posted something or instant message somebody. I don't even know what it is, whether it was on Twitter or Instagram. Things happen. It needs to stop.
What are you gonna?
I know that was a downer, but I just wanted to make another example about how social media is destroying our society, except for Facebook during the day. And I love it.
Social media is going to destroy you.
All righty. So do you want to hear the top of the mass cut? I want to play the top of the mass because I thought it was funny. Don't you think it was funny? All right, here we go. Listen to this, folks, and you can tell us if you thought it was funny. From the council meeting.
I had nothing to do with this.
Let's see if it plays. Oh, it won't play. Oh, we'll have to play it a little bit later. I'm still learning the new equipment. Oh, this Saturday, it looks like we're going to have some really cool stuff. Really different stuff. I noticed you noticed the tripod here, and we got some really cool stuff coming in for the show Saturday. And speaking of Saturday,
What does that mean?
I can't tell you.
You ordered stuff?
It's a secret. I'm getting a demo of something to see if we like it. Carla
Not
Pine.
that Slim Studio. I looked at that. It's way, way, way too expensive.
Yeah, but I know people. I know
don't
people
care.
in the industry.
I don't care.
We were hanging out last week in Dallas. Oh, so by the
Mhm.
way, speaking of Dallas, I want you folks to tell me what you would do. I am in the restroom, of course, because I go to the restroom a lot in the Atlanta airport while I'm trying to make a connection. And there's a guy or a kid guy. It was definitely
boy?
a man. No, it was definitely a man. I just didn't know what age he was. He starts taking selfies of himself in the bathroom of the airport, like in the mirror. He's looking in the mirror. He's taking selfies of himself. And now he's blocking the path. You can't get by him. He's got a backpack on and he's doing this with the camera and taking selfies. Who takes selfies of himself in the bathroom of an airport? Who does that? So I had my backpack on and I walked by him and my backpack was moving at a rapid speed and I almost knocked him down. So I think he wanted to fight, but I had my headphones on. So I pretended like I didn't hear him. But I mean, come on. We're all trying to catch a flight. Who does that?
I think people are taking selfies all the time. I was out to eat and someone took a selfie. She must have taken it 10 times with different poses and the thing. And you're out to eat.
Did you see the lady today? I know what happened today. I'm sure you didn't see because you were
I was
working.
at work.
Did you see the lady that was in the Bronx? Look at her. What's she doing? Cookie, get out of there. Go on. Did you see the Cookie's her dog? I didn't name it Cookie. It's a bulldog. It just came with that name. Did you see the lady that jumped in the lion's den or whatever you call it, the Bronx Zoo? And she was going like this with the lion. She wasn't scared at all.
That's
Who would do that?
insane.
It was
I wouldn't
insane.
do it. I
It
mean,
was
I would do
insane.
it to save somebody if they fell in, but I'm not jumping in. Would you?
No
go in
way.
to
I'm not
save
go-
somebody.
Maybe a kid I would. Maybe if it was a kid. I'm not jumping in a lion's den to save some dumbass that jumped in.
No,
No.
not jump. But what if somebody fell in?
I don't know. That'd be a tough call. I might have to call 911 on that if it's an adult, but I'm jumping in for a kid. I mean,
Good
plus, I'm
Lord.
pretty slow. Somebody else is probably jumping in before me.
Probably
Just
me.
crazy stuff happens all day. Did I say? Oh, you know who else is coming on? Speaking of dogs, Isabel Wells is coming on Saturday at 9:30. She runs Find a Home, Give a Home, which means she adopts dogs and she finds places for dogs to go. I think on Saturday's show, she's bringing a dog with her. She's bringing a pet with her.
Okay. Well, that's great, and I'm more than happy to support her.
I know we're not bringing the
but
dog.
we're
home
not
here.
bringing
It
another
had nothing
dog
to
home.
do with that. It had nothing to do with that. I just wanted to let you know that she's coming on because,
Good.
you know, you don't really prepare for the shows. But anyway, so let's get back to the videotape. And this was Anita at last week's. I think at this point it was getting kind of late and she wanted to move things
I don't
along.
want to ask Mark Pergoli or the other guys to
This has to
hang
do
out
with
till
safety.
midnight because the top of the mast is continuing to play over and over and over again their music that they shouldn't be doing and bothering the adjacent neighborhoods. I want the sheriff to go there and tell them to shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
She didn't say it like that. I took a little editing class and I practiced on that piece, but you heard it. You were cackling at it last week. What did you think of that? I think she was right there. They need to shut up.
If they're being too loud, they need to shut up. And I'm sure people get tired of stuff like that.
Yeah. Boy.
I mean, I just don't.
You
I
can't
think
keep a
you
straight
like
face.
to stir this.
I
pot.
thought that was funny.
I don't
Because
think
I never
it's-
see her like that. I never see her like shut
so
up. I never saw her say
what's
anybody shut
wrong?
up. Well, she almost told me to shut up today on Facebook, but I
she
never
should
saw.
tell you to.
I never
I'll tell
saw
him
us-
to shut up for you. Shut up.
No, I thought that was worth playing. You were cackling at it, so I thought, yeah, she'll be okay with it if we play it.
I just. I personally like somebody who is passionate and down to earth.
And she is both of them.
I'm not saying she is. I'm not saying she isn't.
Of course you're not, because you're on the fence. Let me see if I could draw a
Yeah,
fence so
switch-
everybody can see it. Anyway, so that took place last week. So there's another council meeting on Monday. Busy week next week, dear. So get your britches ready. Monday is the council meeting. Friday is if it still goes on, is the Condieras trial. The Lonnie Kai owner will be on trial. He's requested a jury trial for his trespassing ticket, which probably cost $12 if
There
it
are
just went
much
to the.
bigger trials going on.
No.
than that. Yes, the Seavers thing is coming.
Oh, I
up.
know that started, but did you see that police officer they found the police officer guilty who thought she says she thought she went in her the wrong apartment and killed the man,
Ooh.
and she got sentenced to 10 years today. So, but on Friday of next week, I don't think Condieras will be sentenced to 10 years. I think that the judge will probably say, why are you wasting my time with a trespassing ticket? And then Saturday is the show.
Mhm.
And then, then 1 week from Saturday is the boat races.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's busy.
Did you watch the LPA meeting?
There was a BORCAB meeting. I did not know there was an LPA
Well,
meeting.
it was a while. It was a little bit back, and
Did
they
you
were
watch it?
talking. I did, because they were talking about Publix.
Oh,
down
good. You're going
there.
to give us some input on the show today. Go
Well,
ahead. It's all yours.
That Publix was. They were talking to the LPA about adding a liquor store
Yes.
onto them.
They got approved.
Yeah.
They got
Oh, did
approved.
it?
Yes. I think
They got all their ducks in a
they
row?
talked about it for a long time during
It's like
that
a
meeting.
1,500 square foot addition to Publix.
Is that important to you? A liquor store at Publix?
No, I'm just saying.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying that's in the
You're
news.
saying you watched the meeting.
Saying I watched the meeting.
All
I
right,
mean-
everybody. Go ahead.
Nope. Never
No, go
mind.
right ahead, dear.
Mm-mm.
What were you going to say? Anything else from that meeting that you want to talk about? Anything else
No.
about the beach you want to talk about?
The water was great last week.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if anyone saw Wink today, but Wink's starting to scare people already. Did you see it?
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's not down at Fort Myers Beach, but they're saying it's down in Collier County. So they had a video of some dead fish over by docks. So
Well,
hopefully it won't come
what
up
did
this
they
way.
say that was from?
Red tide.
Oh,
Yeah. So, but I don't want to mention that on the show. I'll
Well,
edit
you
that
just
part out.
did.
I'll edit that part out.
I'm gonna look into that.
And hopefully everyone's got their VIP passes at Shuckers for the boat races. Hopefully everybody's coming down for breakfast to Pete's on Saturday. And also, I know you didn't know this. We're going to have a Facebook Live sponsor starting Saturday. Another
So
sponsor.
exciting.
Yes.
Well, I saw one of the boats that they had parked out in front of Diamond Head. Those things are amazing.
Oh, yeah. They're huge.
They are huge.
And
I think they're still gonna let me take a ride.
I don't think so.
Hmm.
I don't think so. All right. Anything else you want to cover? We want to keep it short today, 30 minutes. We'll let people know what the Wednesday show is about and tell us if it's worth our time or their time, or we should just bag it and keep it to Saturday. I know it's not worth your time. You walked in 30 seconds before the show. I have all this stuff ready, and
I'm still in my clothes from work.
Did you have trouble getting service where you went out with your friends today?
No, no, I
Okay.
did, but I have better things to do. I have, work to do.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I know you had much better things to do with your lives tonight from 6 to 6:30, and we appreciate your wasting 30 minutes of your life you'll never get back, no matter
Well,
what you
hopefully
do.
we were minimally entertaining.
Yes, and this is what we do. We sit around
You do.
all weekend long and say, what can we do to make the show better?
You do it.
Let's do another show.
No.
I don't think it made the show any better.
All right.
So we'll see you Saturday morning. The Beach Cam starts at 8:00. We are going to have a new segment I didn't tell anyone about at 8:30. During the Beach Cam, I'm going to do a call with somebody else that does a podcast around the country. And the
Is
first,
it the people that sent us the cookies?
oh no, you want to tell us that?
Oh
Hold on
my
a second now.
God.
Christopher
That was
Bilbrey.
awesome.
Christopher Bilbrey does a similar podcast in Muncie, Indiana, that kind of like what we do. And at the end of our show, when we were done last week, one of his followers came to our show because she was down here and told us all about him and
Oh,
that he
yeah.
follows our show. And
But
that,
that has nothing to do with the people that sent us cookies.
can you wait a second, please? And so Christopher is going to be on at 8:30 on the phone for 5 or 10 minutes just to talk about his podcast, because we try and give other podcasters a little publicity. So, and then, next week we're going to have a woman, she does a podcast about football. It's called First and Tens, and they've just assigned their first radio station. So they're not
Nice.
only doing a podcast, they're doing they're on a radio station, and I forgot what city that's in, but I'll
Too
get
much
that.
inside.
And then our friends here, Jeff Dollar, does a podcast with his wife. That's called The Upside, and it's all positive-y, spunky, nice stuff.
Mhm.
They talk about all positive stuff.
Gratitude stuff.
Yeah, gratitude and and anxiety and things
And
like
they
that.
were so gracious, and they sent us a huge box of specialty made cookies.
Okay, the reason they sent us the cookies, not because of our show, the reason they sent us the cookies is because I interviewed them for my day job
Mhm.
for Radio Inc. magazine and the Podcast Business Journal, did an interview with them. And so actually I posted that story today, got tons
Cheryl's
of hits.
cookies.
And they sent a box of, there was like, I don't know,
Cheryl's
50
cookies.
cookies in there, right?
Well, there wasn't 50, but there was, oh my God. I had the salted caramel one today, and I shared the pumpkin frosted cinnamon pumpkin spice. I mean,
Maybe
these
you should
cookies
bring
are
them to the
amazing.
show on Saturday and see if
Maybe
you can
they'll
hand some out. Because
maybe
I'm not
they'll
going to have
call
one.
me and
Right?
and support the show.
She
I'll be
was,
an influencer for cookies.
she was talking about how Callie, her name is
Yeah.
Jeff and Callie, how she started talking about stuff, or she got a lot of Instagram followers because of his radio show. She admitted that. The wife of,
Yeah.
she also works for CNN. So I don't know how she doesn't have followers, from
She probably
CNN. She
does.
works for Robin Meade on CNN. And so she started to build up these followers over the years. He worked in Atlanta, and then she just started doing Instagram videos, and all of a sudden she had 60,000 followers on Instagram. And then one night she's sick, and he pours NyQuil in a champagne glass,
In a flute.
and they take a Instagram picture. I still don't even know how to use Instagram. I couldn't take a picture and put it on Instagram if I wanted to. So she takes a picture. He takes a picture. They put it on Instagram. They see it's NyQuil. NyQuil calls them and writes them a check for $1,000. It's like, wow, it's that easy. So
Cheryl's cookies, call me.
Cheryl's cookies. So we want to thank you all very much. And we have no other news for you tonight. We'll see you Saturday morning. Again, Carla Pine and Jackie Loudon. Jackie is from Hoosiers. Everybody knows Carla. And from the Salty Dog gifts.
You're
and,
hanging out there.
the gifts, the Salty Dog gifts and paintings and dog stuff down the street there. And Isabel Wells at 9:30 with Find a Home, Give a Home. That all starts at 9 o'clock. Beach Cam at 8 o'clock. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for putting up with us. Thank you for putting your love in us and whatever else. And we'll see you on Saturday, and have a nice day.